Mary, could you mute your computer for me? Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to those new parents who are joining me today. My name is Miss Hannah Monk, and I am Head of Key Stage 3 at GFS. I'm glad that you could all join us today for this webinar where I'll be discussing Key Stage 3 specific information. Please note that this session will be recorded and that all questions will be collated and answered by myself via D6 after the session. So firstly, I just wanted to introduce myself and my team. This is my second year in the role of Head of Key Stage 3, and these are the heads of year that will be working with me this year. The heads of year have all sent out links today on the D6 for webinars that they will be holding tomorrow afternoon, where you'll get more of an idea for any year group information that you need. Working with the heads of year will be working with our heads of year will be our 10 form tutors within each year group. Your child's tutor is your first point of contact this year and will answer any questions that you have. You should have all received your welcome emails from these tutors, attaching more information about the inductions, as well as the red and blue group systems that are in place for the return to school. In addition to this, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to all parents for relaying back to the tutors about your intentions for your child this term. We appreciate that it is a really difficult decision whether to opt for remote or blended learning, and I understand that situations are constantly changing at the moment. If you do change your mind and you wish for your child to come into school for the blended learning approach, please do let your tutor know so we are aware of the number of students that will be coming into the building. Moving forwards, as well as having contact with the child's form tutor, please do keep an eye on D6 and for your child to keep an eye on Microsoft Teams for any information updates that we do send out. So even though we're going into a new time and the new approach of blended learning, our expectations with behaviour and with hard work at GFS are all still the same. We have all become experts in term 3 with remote learning last year, and this will be exactly the same with blended learning as we make the transition across. Again, we urge you to ask any questions that you have to your child's form tutor during this time. I can reassure you that they will be in a continuous contact with you to ensure that everyone is kept in the loop. For me, regardless of whether your child is at home or in school, keeping the partnerships between us is really strong. Yourselves as parents and the students as well is vital to the success of the learners. Along with the safety of your children, their learning and development is of highest importance to us. This now leads me on to how you as parents can support us through this time. So, if your child has opted for blended learning, please refer to the blue-red group schedule. When students receive their lanyards during the induction week next week, the colour will be indicated on the lanyard to remind learners of which days they're in school. Please ensure that your child is organised, their packed lunch and plenty of water to last throughout the day. We want our learners to be independent and organised with this, but please oversee this whilst they begin to start their new routines. As I'm sure you all have, please continue to discuss the importance of masks and sanitisation within the school. Whilst desks are continuously being sanitised, the students should not be moving around during the day. This is essential that our learners understand how important it is to keep themselves safe. Finally, it would be really beneficial if you could remind the children to fully charge their devices the evening before that they come into school. They'll be given time to charge their devices within school if they bring their charger, but being prepared will prevent any issues in the morning of learning. So, parent support for remote learners. If your child is remotely learning, as you all did in term 3 of last year, please do continue to support your child in attending lessons in line with the daily timetable at GFS. Please also encourage learners to still have their breaks and walk around. We know students became experts with this, so I'm sure that they'll be able to work in the same acceptable manner as last term. We'll be sticking to our Key Stage 3 assembly rota, where all assemblies will be live for students. Assembly will be once a week. On Tuesdays, it will be Year 9, Wednesdays will be Year 8, and Thursdays will be Year 7. If there is a house assembly, this may be on a separate day, but form tutors will inform the students of this. Please ensure that learners remotely learning engage with all assemblies so they are fully included in this aspect of GFS life. Parent support for both blended and remote learners. Please do continue to have those valuable conversations with your children at home about the subject content that they are learning each day. It is so beneficial for the students to relate subject content to everyday life to enhance and solidify the curriculum, making it relevant and valued. I've included on this slide the student induction grouping schedule that you should have received from your form tutors. This is a reminder to double check the day that your child is in school between 9 and 12 p.m. next week. Upon arrival to school, all of the necessary temperature checks will occur. Then students will be directed to go and meet tutors in their new form room. Please also do not worry, staff will be allocated on duty around the school to direct students who may be new to GFS. At the end of the induction at 12 p.m, students will be led down to the mugger courts, of course while socially distancing, to be collected by you. If your child is remotely inducting, their form tutor will invite them to join a live video induction session on Microsoft Teams between 11 and 12 on the day of their red or blue group induction. Okay, so as mentioned in the emails from my tutors, next week you'll be invited to join a one-to-one 5 to 10 minute video call with your child's tutor to meet them virtually and to also answer any further questions that you have. Tutors will send you out an invite link over email this week, and I really look forward to them meeting you all. Please do let them know when they send you this link in response if you do need an alternative time slot. Okay, so how will form time look this year? I just wanted to quickly discuss how it will look for Key Stage 3. Our expectations will remain high and there will still be equipment checks for all of the above. I want to reassure you that there are strict social distancing rules within classrooms, where each child has their own numbered desk for the whole year. If a student does break social distancing on purpose, this will be dealt with a behaviour point and then reviewed if it does persist. There will be larger breaks from devices during the first form time of the day, where students can have a rest from their screens. Students will also, of course, be able to go to the toilet, but this will be monitored, so guidelines are being adhered to. Finally, of course, we still want to celebrate successes for your children, so house points and weekly celebrations will take place in form times and achievements will always be recognised. So here's an example of what form time could look like for the week. Please note, everything here is all done without devices. And if your child is remotely learning, then they don't have to engage with what the form is doing during this break period, obviously unless it is an assembly. I'll just leave that on for a few more seconds so you can just read that. Okay, here are just some other points to take note of for the reopening for Key Stage 3. So firstly, mobile phones. So they are not allowed to be allowed around school and used around school, but we are happy for them to bring them in and leave them switched off. Because if the devices fail us, and we all know what technology can be like, then we do have the mobile phones to perhaps use for Microsoft Teams if needed. After the final lesson of the day, when timetabling resumes from the 6th of September, teachers that teach Period 6 will walk down the students to the Mugger course and be collected as usual. I want to reassure you that all of the teachers have been allocated a desk to work in the corridor. Therefore, during changeover time, where teachers will be moving from classroom to classroom to go and teach different lessons in the secondary school, students will be monitored by those teachers who perhaps don't have a lesson and will be still at their desks in the corridors. So I just wanted to let you all know and reassure you that obviously we will be on duty constantly during changeover. Another reminder, if you do have any subject-specific questions, please do ask the teacher of this subject and ask the form tutor for their email if you are not sure. Again, with emails for the teachers of these subjects, in our school, if you just take their first name, for example, my name's Hannah Monk, my email will be h.monk. But if you aren't sure about their email, please direct this question to their tutor. Buses will begin on September the 6th. They will not be available during the induction week. Okay, now I have had a few questions about students that can't then make it in for the induction if they cannot get a bus, and they can still then do this remotely between 11 and 12 on their group day and then continue to come into school for the blended learning from 6th of September. The bookstore this year is completely online for safety purposes. Miss Cheryl, whose email I have put on the slide here, will be looking after this. Please do direct any questions you have about the bookstore to the email above. And if you have any queries, she'll be there to answer them for you. Book collection will happen during the induction week, and all of the children's books will be delivered to their form rooms to be picked up. Once they've been collected, please can I remind you and your children that they cannot share these books then with anyone else. So work will remain online, and it will be submitted online using the same platforms that we used during remote learning in term 3. I'm certain that we as teachers will be just as impressed with the students' work, just as we were before, and the way that they used Microsoft Teams and any other platforms to submit this. And finally, I just wanted to explain to you that if students have Arabic or an Arabic or Islamic lesson, they will need to bring in their headphones. This is because of our different A and B groupings. It might be a case that they need to listen to their Arabic or Islamic teacher who is delivering a live lesson in a different classroom in the school. Again, this decision has been made to limit movement throughout the school to make sure everyone is safe. Finally, I would like to remind you that links have been sent out today on D6 for the year group webinars tomorrow. I really welcome you to attend these year group webinars so you can see virtually the heads of year and hear more of the specific plans for your year groups of your children. Again, each of these webinars tomorrow will be recorded if you cannot make the above timings. So, thank you so much for joining me today and listening to this webinar. I look forward to reading and answering any questions you've sent in, and I will post these on D6 after the session. I'm really proud to be leading Key Stage 3 again this year, and I welcome anyone returning and anyone that is new. And I hope that you can all adapt to the same fantastic GFS attitude that we are all in this together. And although we are going through a different way of schooling to usual, it will not prevent us from supporting your child to reach every success at GFS. Thank you so much, everyone, and I really look forward to answering your questions.